Police Minister Bheki Cele is monitoring lockdown level 3 regulations today. There's been an increase in violent crime and car accidents since the ban on alcohol sales was lifted. Let's listen in to the minister.
That will be both crime and non-compliance when it comes to the COVID-19, like breaking the regulations on alcohol, no transport, overloading, not working on your mask. Those are the things that we are looking at and making sure that we work with the community to comply. As we have said, that we are looking at the alcohol thing. We know since it came up, there are people that they don't want really to comply on what they're supposed to do. We also know that cigarette up to this point is banned, so you need to prove that if it is banned, cigarette to be sold, so which means it's banned to be bought. So those are the things that we are looking at. But also there is a little bit of trying to find out where are you going. You know that people that are working are supposed to be having the licenses, not licenses, permits from their workers, and those that are going to doctors' shops still have to explain. So we still have to explain. Though it's really a little bit relaxed, but we still do find the people that they don't know which direction are they going. And those people should be told to go and comply with the regulation that you still have to stay home. The COVID-19 is still with us. The numbers are still increasing. The death is still increasing. The General, as the Minister of Health, will give us those figures. And we, as the South African police ourselves, we are, as you know, that we're in the front line, we still suffer. At the present moment, we've got about 1,685 members national that have been affected. Unfortunately, big part of them are in Western Cape at 1,034. Here in Gauteng, we've got 119. In Eastern Cape, we've got 186. KZN, we've got 53 with 14 deaths altogether. 8 again are in Western Cape, and the rest are in Eastern Cape, KZN, and here in Gauteng. We are passing our condolences, and we are saluting those that are dying on the front line, trying to defend and make sure that all South Africans are safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister, for that. Let's open up the floor to some questions. Yes, SABC.
Minister, we just want to get clarity with regards to how far the police investigations are with regards to the deaths that we saw of the young lady who died in Dobsonville, whose body was found yesterday in Dobsonville, as well as any possible perpetrators in connection with the death of Tshegofatse Pule. How far are your investigations with regards to those issues?
Well, with the lady that the body was picked, and we suspected strongly that that body was not killed there. Somebody has been picked up on that one. So we are working on that, but there is somebody that is in the hands of the police. With the lady, Miss Pule, nobody has been picked up, but we know who are wanting now. We have the name and the surname, and maybe very soon that person will be picked up. So we are following close on that. Well, it's one issue, by the way. As you know, that in Western Cape, one lady also died. I'm told that the ex-boyfriend has surrendered himself there. There are other 2 people that were killed. A 27-year-old lady in Western Cape, again, that was shot with a child and all. We are working on that. There is another one that the case has been withdrawn, but from Khayelitsha, that case has been given to the provincial commissioner to work on it today, because there was an allegation that police did not do the proper investigation. We have given those cases. With provincial commissioners, we are taking these cases very serious, and we believe that as the South African police, we need to do an extra work when it comes to the gender-based violence. But we are also calling the society. It's more of a societal issue that all of us, instead of fighting among ourselves, really we must put an effort in dealing with this gender-based violence, which is on the upsurge at the present moment. We just don't know what is happening, because the problem with the police, we arrest them when people are gone. But let's work on the ways of preventing, and together as a community and NGOs and everybody, let's just put the society to say the gender-based violence is for all of us to fight against it.
Minister, let's start with Newsroom.
Okay. Minister, you know, when you look at the gender-based violence issue, how concerning is it, especially now during the lockdown? I mean, we continue to see this increase, even so, especially under the lockdown regulations. How concerning is it, especially to you in your department, as we try and fight, the surge in gender-based violence in the country?
The gender-based violence is a problem. As I've said, is a societal problem. It's for all of us, not only just for the law enforcement. I have said time and again, other people that are supposed to play a serious role on it are the families themselves. For instance, if you look to these young girls that recently has happened, they are collected from whom? They are collected from the friends or collected by the people that they know. When I come and I knock and home, they know, you know me, they'll let me go. That's one. That's why families really must play an extra role. But the police themselves and the whole justice system, the prosecutors, the magistrate and all that, I think it must be one of the cases that is very difficult to get bail. But also the call we are making with the South African police, especially those units like FCS that are dealing, please do a thorough job. And so whenever we go there, let's have a very tight case so that we are able to put those people behind bars. And one thing that we can request, it should be one of the most difficult things to get bail out of this case. I'm not even talking about parole. President has simply said no parole on those cases. But we have again seen some upsurge. I don't want to, because I'll have to explain when I've seen the upsurge. The upsurge I've seen of this gender-based violence, which has become very violent, is when the 1st of June came. Figures of murder have come, figures of attempted murder have come, figures of abuse, including this gender. Definitely, this kind of violence does go with kind of abuse of alcohol. Well, I'm not going to make my call on alcohol, what happens to it, but it's one thing that we'll have to look going forward in life. What's the relationship of alcohol, drugs, and the gender-based violence? But for all of us, I'm making that call. It's a societal issue. Let's come together on this one and fight it together.
All right, Minister, just wanted to check, do you still stand by the fact that you still want alcohol, the issue of the lifting of the ban of alcohol to be relooked? And secondly, what is government's plan, especially the police's plan, in dealing with the scourge of femicide?
Dealing with the scourge of?
Femicide, or gender-based violence.
Well, I think it's the same answer that I've given. To say gender-based violence, to start with, is a societal issue. It's an issue where all of us as a society, we must come close to it, including families, including NGOs. It's one area that we should not be fighting among ourselves. It's an area that we should really focus, and we simply say, not in our name, all of us. But for the police themselves and the justice cluster, is that we arrest, we investigate properly, and when we have investigated properly, the prosecution does its work, and they are thrown in prison for a very long time. One thing that should be a serious thing to get if you are in the gender-based violence, things like bail, they should not be really easily available. Parole and all those things. Well, President has said so, or to say those people cannot be paroled. But it's a societal issue. I want to repeat that. Let's work together on that matter.
Minister, it's just a point of clarification.
Let's get your name.
Wisani, SABC Radio News. So when you say one person has been picked up in connection with the Dobsonville murder, is it a formal arrest or someone taken in for questioning? And I don't know if maybe the provincial commissioner can shed more light on the arrest, the circumstances leading to the arrest, and who is this person if they are known?
Well, for the fact that he hasn't appeared in court, you can't know the name. You know that. By now, you should know that. He can work on it, Commissioner, but one person in the hands of the police. So for the further question, Commissioner is here to explain on it.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Just clarify that.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
It has been identified as well.
Yeah. The suspect.
Before you finish with that, just add with the Bheki Cele issue, why there's been no leads and no arrests. Just if you could just also add into that as well.
Yeah. With regard to the incident in Dobsonville, one suspect is already in custody. Thanks to the community for sharing the information with us. Ever since we have started, we have made a call to say anyone with information must come forward. So the community, they were very much helpful in sharing that information, and that led us to the arrest of that individual. And like what the minister have already said, we are not going to divulge the name and some other circumstances because they are going to form part and parcel of our evidence, which we are going to lead in court. So I think it suffices to say that one suspect is arrested, and this particular suspect will be appearing in court on Monday. The issue of Ms. Pule, we are also working around the clock, following some leads. Obviously, with the assistance of our community again, it has led us to identify the person, the last person who was with her. And this is the person whom we are looking for. Our detectives are hard at work. They are following him. As soon as we find him, we are going to pick him up. But we know who the person is.
Thank you so much, PC.
Final question, Minister. Do you have an idea of how many gender-based violence complaints you've received nationwide since the start of the lockdown? Could you give us an indication, please?
Well, I'd be lying if I say the numbers, give you the exact numbers since since the lockdown or since level 4 or level 3.
If you could specify specifically since level 3, because we've seen an increase, obviously, in the gender-based violence issue.
Well, under lockdown, the numbers were really reduced. For instance, we compared a period where we had about 6,000 in the same period, and then it went to 2,000. No, it went to 3,000. But 2,500 of those people that were abused by the people they know. The other is the father, is a boyfriend, his uncle, and all that. Both gender-based violence and both domestic violence. But domestic violence, we don't want to say, as people have been asking, it was reduced. So there is an argument that not most of them were reported because there was a lockdown, people could not move. But the figures that were reported to the police were lower than the normal figures. From the side of the police, we would say it went down. But since level 3, even the reporting has gone up. I don't have exact figures, but I know that it has gone up. But also, the new reports, it also goes with some form of alcohol abuse, because they'll raise that as a report to say it was after alcohol, somebody is drunk and all that. So we were putting a relationship between the increase again of the gender-based violence and the abuse of alcohol.
So are you lobbying for alcohol to be banned, for the alcohol underage to be banned?
I am.
Are you lobbying for alcohol to be rebanned, Minister?
Well, I'm the member of the Cabinet of the Republic of South Africa. I'm the member of the Command Council. My discussions will be done there. But I've been asked time and again. I really believe world will be better without alcohol.